Immigrant think tank page.
Are we on? Oh,
Yeah, we're live.
we're on. We're on, guys. This is our first time using a new. So we're new to this, but
New
we're going to be the
technology.
guinea pigs
Yep.
of this whole thing. So we're going to go on our pages and send the link to. Oh, you're on? Oh, you're on.
Yeah, we're on.
Okay. Oh, that's
live.
cool. We're live.
So I'm just trying to figure out how to share this.
You share that. So where can people jump on? Oh, here's So I need to go to the African think tank page. Switch there. Hey, who's joining us? I think we can we hear messages when we're on like that? 7 o'clock, huh? We should be able to record. Yeah, let me hit the record button. Where is record? Please tell me there's a record. Nope. Intro video, also background check. Okay.
So if there's someone watching, they can just
or you can send the link
in the chat.
Can you send the link?
Let me see.
Intro video. I see mute, invite, leave studio settings. It's said to be under settings. Audio general. Okay. Oh, recording. Here, recording. Okay. Please note recording settings are disabled while live.
Is this something that you have to change your end? Maybe.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna keep going so we're not wasting time here because we really want to jump into this. We got a second guest. Who's our second guest here? Can we? Oh, here we go. I'm gonna share. We look funny, but we'll get it. We're not embarrassed. We're not embarrassed.
Technology. The technology. Technology.
We'll get better at it.
Yeah. So how do I share mine? Where do I go? So this is on the page.
Just link. Okay. Right there.
This is it, right?
There's share.
A share
to your page. David Bahinga page. Just hit share,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Right.
We're looking as amateurs in the very beginning here, but we will get better at this as time goes on.
Let me go to my page.
Promise you that. But we're glad you're here. Oh, it's on your right there.
Yeah.
David Bahinga shared it as well.
Yeah.
And so that's good. So we want, if you have friends, please share it.
Share, like, and subscribe. Do not forget to follow.
There we go.
I feel like a YouTuber. You know those YouTubers?
Yeah. There we go. View post. Mm-hmm. Okay, so people can go on my page and see it. All right, we're gonna quit. So if you can have any questions. I think we have any follow-ups. We have 2 people, but hopefully more people will jump on. But we're gonna get started, and as we are doing this, we can get better at it. And we're definitely, I'll tell you right now, we're definitely going to invite you back.
Definitely. I would love to come back.
Yeah. So I can go back to the live page so people can click on it and they can come and see us.
Yeah.
I got 2 people. All right. Maybe we'll wait about 1 more minute.
3 people.
To get more individuals. And we want to make sure there's a spot for people to ask questions.
I think we have the 3rd person.
Get that?
We have the 3rd person joining.
Okay. I think we're able to see some comments down here. Having issues. Edit layout. New layout. So we're new to this StreamYard, which is a better system to allow us to record, to capture more professional things as time goes on. And so we will definitely improve that. Mm-hmm. I am going to give it, again, 7:05. We really want to end about 8 o'clock and leave some time for some Q&A. If people do have questions. I just want to make sure we can see those questions. Okay. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments. So how was your day?
But it was good.
We got some coffee. Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to tell. Sorry to interrupt. We're at Axiom Coffee in Fort Worth. I've come here quite a bit. I think we will share this also with their page. Great location, great coffee shop. It's a good place to kind of do this video, especially at this hour on Thursdays. You don't have too many people, and it's quiet enough. And so we've been very privileged to do that. We got the bottomless drip coffee, so for $5.69, we can drink as much coffee. You can come in the morning, buy this, and just keep drinking coffee.
$5.69 all day.
All day. This is the bottomless right here. And they gave it in this. Oh, they got you your food because you need to eat.
I have my muffin.
I got my people sending me a message. I got thumbs up. Who's doing thumbs up? I'm scared to hit too many things to cut us off.
Yeah.
Right now, because I'm new to this. But at least
let us know if the video is okay, if you can hear us, if the audio is fine.
Okay, I got some thumbs up. Okay. Tonge Mbela. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. We apologize, but we'll get better at this. Okay, we're live on the Facebook page. I want to make sure we can take any questions. There's 4 shares, which is good. We got 10 views so far. Thank you guys for joining us. Please send the link out to everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and give you kind of an idea of what we're doing here. I'm gonna introduce myself. First of all, my name is Reouhidi Reuben Ndjerareou. I serve as the Community Engagement Director for the African Think Tank. This is my first year in this role. I first joined the African Think Tank, early 2023. I came to one of the events, the 3rd event, I believe it was. And then in 2024, I took over as a regional director, the first regional director, and then move over into engagement. And we have a new regional director by the name of Edmund Kingwapo, and our associate regional director, Uname, from Botswana. And so I'm excited for what they're doing and as us working as a team. Israel African Think Tank is an organization with a mission and a mission with the African diaspora to connect us, to network us, to have a platform so that we can display our talents and work with one another and be the arbiters or the champions of our own stories. And so we focus a lot again on networking. We have business that join us, vendors. We rely a lot on our vendors. So when we have our mixers, the vendors come and they're able to share their goods and their talents. We also have some great, phenomenal speakers at these mixers as well. And we are live. Okay. And okay, we got some messages coming in. Okay. And so it's just an opportunity as Africans to get together and to write our own stories. And so we've been doing that for 2 years. We're in year number 3, and we have 5 chapters. We have the Dallas, Houston, DMV, Charlotte, and Atlanta chapters going on. So connect with us, get on our Facebook page, get on our website, ask questions. We're going to be doing more of these the African Think Tank lives of this nature with more guests. And I'm glad to have our guest here today, David Bahinga. We were going to do it. He's going to do it from home, but I was coming to this coffee shop, and it was a good place to meet, so we're able to do it face to face. I always like it face to face if necessary, but we're going to utilize technology. Yeah. My boy Ben Collins, somewhere who's in Zambia right now, he's really into artificial intelligence, utilizing technology in order to advance. So I'm definitely growing accustomed to that, and so I think I've spoken enough. But I really want to give this opportunity to our guest, David Bahinga, to share his story. I've known David for 11 plus years now. He came to the United States as an international student from Congo, Kinshasa. Bonjour, nous allons faire franglais. On va faire anglais français. So sometimes we'll do English, French, because we have it's not always English. We have French speakers. I think we have some Portuguese. And so, I'm from Chad. He's from Congo. Those are French-speaking countries in Africa as well. And our journey has brought us here to not only to Texas, but also just to this opportunity to work together, to engage, to really, going from kind of a mentor-mentee relationship we still have, but also as a partnership and friendship as well. And so you can tell the difference between this man and his, look at all that black hair. Look at all this black hair. Je suis ton ancien. Il faut me respecter.
You're my old guy.
Oh God. Yo, okay.
Much respect to you, sir.
Much respect to you too.
Much respect to you.
All right, let me see that. So, I don't want to waste any more time. We'll be better at these introductions, but I really want to give you an opportunity to share your story. We're going to really have 3 segments of it, like a well book that you have the introduction, you have the body, you have the conclusion, which ties back to the introduction. So let's just start first of all with the. Should we work forward or backwards here? Let's work forward.
Okay.
Let's from the beginning. Just share a little bit about your African experience. Where you were born, your family, what was your education in the part of Africa you were in? And the reason I asked that question, and I want to also share why we ask questions, is because sometimes as Africans, we think our journey begins once we arrive in the U.S. People forget, no, you had complete lives prior to going wherever, West United States, Australia, Europe. There was a life before those things, and where you went is just a part of a bigger story.
Definitely.
And I definitely want to hear, and I know people want to hear, what was your life like in Africa, and those kind of things, and the education, and then we'll get to what brought you here. So I can speak up loud so we can.
So I'm glad to be here, and I would like to thank the African Think Tank for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be able to share our stories and get to know more about each other, right? Of course, we are Africans, but we all from different places. It's an honor to be the first guest, by the way.
Yeah,
it's an honor to be.
Vous êtes le premier, le début, le commencement.
Le commencement. Oh, and it's an honor to be the first guest on this Facebook Live African Think Tank, coming direct to you. And so the beginning and where I come from. Thank you for the introduction, by the way. My name is David. I'm from Congo, the DRC, the giant of Africa. I like to refer to it as a giant of Africa. I mean, seeing the potential that we have as a country, and how we can use that to to better our continent. So born and raised in Eastern Congo. I'm sure all of you have heard of Eastern Congo, so I was born in a town called Bukavu, that is in the southeast of Congo. Love that town to death. That's my hometown. I'm still very attached to that, So grew up there. So the life before the US, if I can summarize it for me, it was very fun.
Okay. C'était bien, non?
Yeah, it was very fun. I'm not going to come here with the African sad stories. Yeah. So I was very fortunate to just grow up in a household where parents provided everything. So I was born in 1995 in Bukavu. Went to school in one of the amazing schools in the region, College of Fajiri. For those that know that school is one of the best schools. I've never seen any primary school that can come close to that, honestly speaking. So went to College of Fajiri, did my primary school, and in the beginning of 2007, going 2008, I started my secondary school. So prior to when I was the second year of my secondary school, my dad decided to relocate to the capital city, and so we had to follow him because of his work. And so we relocated to the capital city in 2009, And so the experience in the capital city and was not so good for me. So we relocated to Kinshasa in 2009, and my dad saw what was happening in the city, and he was like, you know what, it's best for you to move out of this town before it's too late for you.
Was it mostly when you had, of course, was it because of the city or was it because of you? Like,
I mean, it was because it was both. You know? I mean, Bukavu is more. Let me just say conservative.
Yeah.
Than Kinshasa, right? So it's more conservative. You don't have a lot of things going on, you know. In terms of entertainment, the party life is not that big. At least growing up, the party life was not that big in the city. But Kinshasa is a different world, especially where we were located. My dad was like, you know what, it's best. They sat down one day, my mom and like, you know, it's best for these two kids here to go to an English speaking nation. Actually, a boarding school.
Okay.
You know, a boarding school because they wanted to keep us out of trouble. Me and my brother, the one that follows me, Lucien. Some of you know him. So we left the city in the capital city in 2010, going to Uganda, Kampala, Uganda, and we went to a boarding school. I went to this international boarding school called Vienna College Namugongo in Kampala. An amazing school, by the way. Uganda. I have so many stories about Uganda. Man. You know, my love for Africa comes from the fact that I experienced Africa. I experienced Africa outside of Congo. Meaning that I mean, people when people talk about Africa, they only talk about Africa in the sense that, you know, I know my home country. I know how it is in my home country. So there's that experience that you have in your home country, and you think that's all that Africa has to offer, right? When you visit other countries, and I've been to few of the African countries, especially in the East region, East Africa, then you get to see the beauty of Africa. Right? You get to see other cultures. You get to see a different type of development that you're not used to, and just a different type of people. And that was a beauty because the school that I went to was an international school.
Okay.
So this was people from around the world. Right. We had people. We had students from Burundi. You have students from Rwanda. You have students from Ethiopia. Is it from from Eritrea, and you also had students from South Sudan. So from around the world. Some are even, you know something that caught my attention, and these were like one of the nice boarding schools in the region, and you find students from Canada.
Okay.
So they're African. They're originally African. But to punish them, their parents
sent them back to Africa.
They were sending you back to Africa, and they're sending you to a nice school. An international school. But I'm like, how is this a punishment? How is this? How is this a punishment? So we also had that, and it was just an amazing time and that's why I fell in love with Africa, man. I fell in love with Africa. I experienced so much. I learned about other cultures. I interacted with other people other than just Congolese, right? And it was just an amazing time. So if I'm to summarize it, life before the US was fun. It was fun. So going to the university and just enjoying the daddy's money.
And I think
daddy's money. So
daddy's money, huh? Let me put this down a little bit so we can see more. So you said some really interesting things. You know, one that you got to visit other parts of Africa as an African. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we don't realize how ignorant us Africans are of our own continent. Right? I'm from Chad. I did go to Cameroon and Nigeria and stuff, but not really anywhere else. And even when I did go sometimes to Cameroon, there's a lot of things I didn't know because I was just living and going there. And I learned more about Cameroon through my Cameroon relationships here in the U.S., which is big. So we have to understand our own ignorance and really dig deep into what's happening on the continent. Yes. And we have to understand the regions. You talk about East Africa. I'm more from Central Africa. There's individuals from West Africa. And you talk about, the Horn of Africa and also, the southern part of Africa. So that's one. Number two, you said this interesting thing about punishment. That, kids who grew up, Africans who grew up in Canada and the parents would send them back to Africa for punishment. There was one of our members of the African think tank. So she had to change her mindset about that. That why sending your child to Africa is considered a punishment. It's considered an opportunity to expand the perspective. And I had that for sure because I grew up in the U.S. Came when I was 4, didn't go back when I was 12. But I know if I had not gone back when I was 12, I wouldn't have been able to establish that anchor of relationships that exist outside of my parents because we're all connected there. So we have to really not see sending our kids to Africa as a punishment, but as an opportunity, whether, it's for years, 6 months, vacation time. And I know a number of parents, I know Sidonie does that with her kids. Our executive director does that. And I know some other families do that. And that's something we want to talk about in the future too. So I want to pivot to the next part of your life, maybe the body of this conversation a little bit, is quickly what brought you to the U.S.? I mean, education did, but why particularly the U.S. and maybe not Canada or Europe, another place? I mean, and also the particular school you were at, and then we'll tie into that. What were the coursework or what were you looking to do as far as education in being at the school?
So before coming to the US, I just want to say that I did not have US in the back of my mind when I was finishing my high school, right? So I did my high school in Uganda. So it's a different system. So it's what they call a Cambridge system, right? So it's a Cambridge system. So you have it's a system that allows you to prepare for university. So they give you few classes, right? They give you few classes that you have to take in your junior and senior year. So these are the classes that are tied to your to what you're going to do in university. So if you're going to become a doctor, you're going to take more of the science classes. You're going to take biology, chemistry, and you're going to take maybe physics, maybe math, because these are the classes that you need to, to help you prepare for the medical school or the medical world once you get out of high school. So what I did, going to my junior, senior year, is that I took business classes, and that comes from the fact that I've always been interested in business, mainly because my grandfather was a businessman. He had a retail shop. He also had a bakery, and there was just a lot of things that he did, and I found that interesting, and I wanted to do business in the future. So going into this junior, senior year, so I took mostly the business class, the economics class, and going back to what I said, I didn't know that I was going to come to the US. That's because my dad, him being very involved in my higher education, me and my brother's higher education at that time, he traveled to India, to go and look for schools in India. He also went to China.
China,
He also went to China to go and look for universities. So he visited a few universities in India. He visited a few universities in China. He also there was also at one point some conversation about going to South Africa. And while I was in Uganda finishing my senior year, he gives me a call and he's like, "Hey, how about the US?" I'm like, "What? The US?" I mean, that's
C'est lourd pour certaines personnes, hein?
Yes, c'est lourd. Well, you know,
C'est quoi, la dream, la rêve, quoi.
les rêves américains, quoi. Les rêves
American
américains.
dream,
So,
yeah.
the American dream.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had the American dream. So for
Yeah.
me, I was not. It was a surprise, not in the sense that, oh wow, it was just a surprise that I thought that I'm going to South Africa. If not South Africa, I thought that I'm going to India. Now I have to prepare for America, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, he had a friend that just finished his program in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay.
So his friend went to Cornerstone. He did a bachelor, actually a master's program in psychology. So being done with this program, he had visited the country and met with my dad. They talked. For some reason, my dad was interested in that conversation, and he wanted me to apply to go to Cornerstone.
Cornerstone University.
Yeah, so
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. So here I am in Uganda, finishing my senior year, and also working on my application. Working to send my application to Cornerstone. I was accepted. At Cornerstone. And so now I had to apply for the visa. At this point, I finished with my high school. Graduated and everything. Had my Cambridge degree, high school degree, and I decided to do the application in Kampala, in Uganda, right? So just why not just go to the embassy, to the American embassy in Uganda, and apply from there so that I can come for school in America. I did the application. It didn't work.
It didn't work. You got denied?
I got denied.
You don't refuse it?
Yeah.
You don't refuse le visa.
That was what? That was the rejection. The first rejection that I got. And I was so discouraged. I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
Let's just forget about this America. And my dad was like, no, what? Just come to Congo. Just come to Congo, and then you apply from here.
Okay.
So I went back home. I went to Kinshasa, applied from the American embassy in Kinshasa. To my big surprise, was approved for the visa to come to the US and study.
Okay.
And so that's how I came to the US. And
C'était dans quelle année? What year?
So this was so I did my high school year. My high school years was from 2010 to 2014.
Okay.
So 2014 September, that's when I came to the US.
Okay. September.
In Grand Rapids, Michigan.
It was starting to get cold, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean at that time it was
still,
not that much.
Yeah, September, right? Yeah.
September. So
But December. What is that now?
December was a different
story. Okay, so you got to the US. I'm gonna ask this part. Like, we're gonna do a little French too, because we have people, I'm sure, in Congo
that are watching.
We got people everywhere.
My village people are here.
Wait, il faut parler direct. Quand vous parlez à eux. Ok, ils sont là. Ok. Directement.
Ok.
Alors, en tant qu'un Congolais, en tant qu'un Congolais, un Africain qui est venu aux États-Unis pour la première fois, quel était votre sens de la culture américaine vis-à-vis les étrangers? Est-ce que vous étiez bien accueillis? Il y avait des difficultés, de faire des amitiés, de comprendre même la langue. Est-ce qu'à l'époque, tu parlais anglais couramment ou pas?
Oui, à l'époque, je parlais anglais parce que je venais juste d'un système francophone.
Oui.
Disons, à la fin de quand j'ai quitté le Congo, disons.
Oui.
Quand j'ai quitté le Congo, Je suis venu, je suis allé en Ouganda, ça c'est le système anglophone.
Oui, Uganda c'est anglophone, Congo c'est francophone.
Congo c'est
Oui,
francophone, donc j'ai étudié l'anglais en Ouganda.
Oui.
En venant ici aux États-Unis, cette transition n'était pas assez difficile pour moi parce que je parlais déjà l'anglais.
Mais l'anglais américain, quand même, il y avait certaines choses qu'on ne
Ouais,
comprenait pas parce qu'il y avait howdy, bon, ça c'est Texas. Mais
moi j'ai un français, c'est un accent africain quoi.
Oui, même l'anglais, c'était l'anglais, Queen's English, British English.
British English.
Because in English, they say flashlight, and British English, say torchlight.
Torchlight, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Comme ça, il y avait ces changements. Okay. So a little bit of French. We want to make sure that, English, Portuguese is a language that's spoken in Africa. People don't know Spanish is spoken in certain parts. And so, as African think tank, we think about those audiences that we are getting more, that are coming to us more. So we want to make sure we include them. Also that. So what was so I want to make sure we get to the discussion about your business and everything, but what was the courses? Did you come already with an idea of this is what am I going to do, or did you develop that over time? And these were the courses that the subject matter you wanted to take for your future.
I came with an idea of what I was going to do. Yeah, so I came with an idea that okay, I'm going to study business, and the reason for me studying business was for me to be able to to run my own company in the future.
All right.
I always grew up with that mindset, and this is something that my father told me. I want you guys to go to school with the mindset of becoming employers in the future.
Okay.
Not employees.
Okay.
I remember that. It was just we're just talking, right? It was just a random talk, and he mentioned that. And so I always had that in the back of my mind, right? Going to school for business was mainly so that I could run my own business in the future and learn about business enough to be able to run my own company in the future.
Okay. So what were some of the courses you took at Cornerstone, specifically that you felt were helpful?
Some of the courses that I took, especially nowadays, now that we're speaking about tariffs and all these things.
I think you mentioned that. Yeah. Now that's coming to life.
That's coming to life.
Yeah.
I learned about it. Now I'm starting to feel it. It's good. It's good. When you're in school and you're learning about something.
Yeah.
I remember learning about macroeconomics, tariffs, and how country uses tariffs to protect their economy and all that. And they tell you to explain the benefits of tariffs when you're taking the test and you're there typing tariff this and this. This is how it helps protect the economy. This is how we can fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, tariff is affecting me.
Okay. Well, I really want to get into this last part because we still have about maybe 20 minutes, but I think this is going to be the bigger part of this conversation is you graduate from Cornerstone. You move from Grand Rapids, Michigan to Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
Completely different parts of the U.S. But you come down here, you start working. So what was I said you always wanted to start your business. That's why you did that. And so tell me just briefly a little bit, how did that journey look like? So you started working for a particular company, and then at what point did you start your business? And then just tell us about your business as well. So we'll put all those together, those questions together. And then let me add one more. And how does you starting that business contribute to your love for Africa? Because we've spoken about that privately. We're not talking about it, but you really have a desire for the African community, both here and abroad. And how does that business initiative also tie into that?
Yeah, I mean, I came to. I think I became closer to Africa, in America.
Hmm.
Let me say that. And the reason why I became closer to Africa.
Wow. Sorry. Go ahead.
So the reason why I became closer to to African America is because of the community, right? In Michigan, I was close to the African community. I mean, if it's a church, I'm in an African church. You know, if it's on the weekend, right? Guess what I'm at? I'm in the community.
Yeah.
There's something happening. There's a birthday party. I'm there. So I realize how helpful it is to be closer to the community, right? So the person that will come to your help is someone that knows your struggle and know what you're going through. And and that's how I came to appreciate the African community. So just to go back to your question, that transition from Michigan to the to Dallas was something that I always had in the back of my mind since 2019. That's the first time that I visited Dallas, and I just fell in love with this place. Right, there was just a different vibe.
Yeah.
And there was also the fact that this is the I always tell people this is the closest you can get to Africa in America.
Okay.
This is the closest you can get to Africa in America. When you come to Dallas, especially the DFW area, it's just I don't know how to explain it. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you've ever come to Dallas, you know, and you're from a different state, you know how it is down here. You know the diversity that we have. You know how big the African community is down here, and
some of the biggest African communities I think we know are definitely Nigerians, the Congolese, Kinshasa, Cameroonians, Kenyans. I think they're kind of the larger groups, and the Sudanese, South Sudanese, South Sudanese, amongst many others. So
I mean, and to me, coming here it was a strategic move because I just during COVID I did my master's in finance. So I did my master's in finance with a concentration in investments, and doing the research about the regions where you can find the best job in finance and in just in the investment world. Dallas was the number one city on that list. You know, you have JP Morgan, you have all these insurance companies and banks, and so there's a lot of opportunities here for people that are involved in financial services. So I was like, you know what? Now this is definitely my go-to place after Michigan. And in 2021, the end of 2021, and I think that's when I met you when I was visiting for the second time. In 2021, I'd made the decision. You know what? I'm moving as soon as possible. As soon as
you didn't play around. You did not play around, brother.
So I remember calling you and be like, "Hey, bro, as soon as you find a place for me to come and lay my head, I'll be in Dallas. I'll be in Dallas, Texas. I'm done with Michigan. Although I love the people in Michigan. I miss Michigan. You know.
You don't miss the snow though. Don't lie to me.
I don't miss the snow. I don't miss that. I don't miss that. I just love the community down there, and I hope to visit you guys soon. But in 2021, in the beginning of 2022, I made that move. I'm like, it's official. I'm moving down here, and in the summer, not in the summer, but in September of 2022, I started my job with JP Morgan. As an investment professional. They were in one of the offices in Plano, Texas.
So let's we got 20 minutes left, so I want to really hone in on some questions. So tell us about your business. Like what, the name of the business, the services you provide, and the community you're trying to reach. And then how can people connect with you really to help? Because it's brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new, yeah.
And we want to make sure people know about it and how they can contact you or definitely share information. But tell us a little bit about that business.
Well, I mean, before starting with that, to share more about the business, I want to give a backstory to that.
Okay.
The reason why I started my own business in the first place is I was doing the research. Like I said, I always wanted to become a business owner, right? I was doing the research. I'm like, okay, now is the time to start something, right? I always had this in mind. I'm gonna start my business when I go back to Africa.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why wait until I go back to Africa to start my business? Why not just start the business here with the skills that I have, with the education that I have, and the skills that I have in finance and everything? Why not just start the business here in the US? And what is the business that is the closest to what I already have, the knowledge that I already have? And I did research, and that's why I came up with bookkeeping.
Okay.
Yeah, so the name of my company is AKD Bookkeeping Services. So the AKD comes from the middle name, Akonkwa. So Akonkwa, in my language, it means thank you, God. Yeah, so that's the abbreviation of thank you, God.
Okay.
In my language. So Akonkwa. So the full meaning is Mungu Akonkwa.
Okay.
Yeah. So Akonkwa, that's the middle name, and the first initials is AK, and the D is the initial of my first name.
Okay.
David. Right?
David.
AKD Bookkeeping Services. Okay. So I didn't want to say David Bookkeeping Services. I didn't want to say, that's boring. I mean, I just wanted to have a little bit of a catchy name, AKD Bookkeeping. Yeah. So I started. The main reason for starting the business was to help the community, the African community here. Because we have a lot of business owners in the African community. We have a lot of entrepreneurs starting businesses every year. And what I've realized is that they don't have a system in place, right? They don't have a system in place that tracks their transactions, that tracks their expenses, categorize their transactions, and kind of help them know more about their finances as they go on with the business. How do you know that your business is profitable? How do you even make projections for the next 5 years, 10 years? They don't have that. They don't have someone that can come in and explain all these things to them. So that's the main reason for starting the bookkeeping service business.
That's good, and that's so true, because I've come to your services as well. We've talked, and so you're helping me with some of the book services for my nonprofit, but also you do individual. You can help individuals as well, or just business.
So right now I'm working with businesses.
Okay.
So these are businesses in the service industry.
Yep.
Mainly in the service industry. So we're talking about people that have, for example, private practices. You have lawyers. You have real estate agents that have their own agencies. You have people like contractors, right? Let's say you have a roof, like a roof type of business. You go and fix people's roofs. So you're a contractor. You're a 1099. You're an LLC business owner, and we work with you to help you organize, get your books set up. You have just a system in place that tracks your expenses, puts in place your transactions, categorize your transactions, and at the end of the month, we go through The financial statements helps you understand, because we can we can organize your books, we can organize your transactions, but at the end of the day, if you don't know what those numbers mean, then you're not able to strategize. You're not able to make decisions, and that's why, and that's the I think that's a thing that is missing. That's a thing that is missing in most of in this industry. In the bookkeeping industry, many people can help you with your books, but they cannot explain to you what these numbers mean.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So when you take, for example, income statement, right?
Yeah.
The income statement, which is the one that goes through the revenue, the
Yeah.
expenses, and your profit or loss at the end. I want you to understand exactly what you did.
Yeah.
Where your money is going,
Yeah.
where your money is coming from, and what you can do to make profits,
Yeah.
and expand your business. So the main reason why I started AKD is to help business increase their profit.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we are definitely leaving information, and we'll provide more of that. We got about, I want to respect people's time. So we got about 14 minutes. If you have, we'll take maybe one or two questions. Please ask questions. He's sharing his story, but definitely in the beginning, when we do these in the future, just have some questions ready so that we can either plug those questions into our conversation or take them towards the end. But with that time that we have left, I really want to ask two questions. How did you come across the African think tank? And you've come to, I think, 2 or 3 events already. And how has been your experience with the African think tank?
I've been to, I would say, 5 events.
5 events.
Yeah.
This is why he does numbers, and I do stories. Just tell me what it is. I'll put the story around the number, and then you figure out the rest. All right, go ahead. So, what's up?
I think you invited me. The first event was an invitation that I got from you, and at that time I didn't have my own business. I was not even networking.
Yeah.
Networking is something that I started recently.
Yeah.
And I thank the African think tank for putting this space where we can all come together as Africans and collaborate and work with each other to grow our respective businesses. So the first events that I attended was in 2020. Was it 2024? 23? I don't know.
Well, because we started in 2023, so it had to be 2024.
Yeah, 2024 last year was the first event that I started. It was a great experience just to see the Africans in one room, networking with each other, doing business with each other, and that's what we have to do. We have to grow our businesses, right? And I'm all about helping entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, existing businesses to expand by taking care of their finances.
Yeah. So a lot of collaboration. So what would be I know it's with businesses, but who have you interacted with at the African think tank that really resonated with you? Was there a particular individual? Was there with our president? Was there a particular presenter? What aspects of the African think tank events that really attracted you or really made an impact? Because I like feedback as African think tank, so I want to make sure.
I'm not going to say individuals because there was a lot of individuals that that have shared a lot of information, good information. But the thing that I like is a smaller group. The small group where we have these interactions on specific topics, right?
Okay, the focus groups we did.
The focus groups.
Groups, yeah. We still have those. We do more of them online. Now
I was part of the last one.
Okay, sweet. Yep.
Last Saturday. I think we had one. I joined that one online, and so this is mainly. I think I like the setting of it. because it's mainly for specific niche. You know, if you're looking to expand your business, if you have questions about the career, if you have questions about the healthcare, or all these different things that fits in our daily life, you can find a group that will help answer your questions. And I love the discussion that we had last Saturday in those focus groups, and just the information you get to share. Let's say if I'm to meet you in that focus group, you get to share your experiences with me.
Okay.
And I get to know more about your challenges. And how I can assist you. And vice versa. Right. And so and that's where you get to share contents. And you get
stories.
And stories.
And remember things back home.
It's all about connecting with individuals and staying connected. To grow our respective businesses.
So we're closing in here on a few more minutes, but one more question is, what's the advice that, first of all, would you give to international students coming to Africa for the first time? I know there's some challenges. What did I say? Africa. Well, we got some international students going that way. We need to figure out how. Yeah, they're actually that, because you said from Canada. Another time, but there is more opportunities developing with African institutions where people can go from here to there. I've always recommended a school in Ghana that I've always appreciated, Ashesi University, and other things like that. So, but for Africans who are able to come to the U.S., there's evidently the academic challenges, the cultural challenges of it. So what kind of advice would you give for somebody coming this way? And then what kind of advice would you give around developing a business?
So to international students, I think those that are back home, and that wants to come to America, you have to, first of all, you have to do your research, right? I think there's certain things that we don't prepare enough. And this is something that I've realized, right? Because it's the same stories, right?
Same stories.
The same stories. When you come here, you think that from the fact that you can take care of the accommodation and the school fees, and that everything else should not be an issue. But you find other realities when you come to America. And America. The first thing that I've not talked about about the first job that I had when I came here as an international student. I was fortunate to have parents that paid for my school fees, and that paid for my tuition and also accommodation, right? But the rest of other things, I didn't know that you also have some personal bills that you have.
Personal bill.
Right?
Nobody tells you that.
You're supposed to take care of your transportation. You're supposed to take care of your
health insurance,
and all this other stuff. So I had to find a job on campus, right? And as an international student, you have a limited job
limitations. 20 hours a week.
So if you cannot fully plan for how you're going to take care of all the expenses, I think you should postpone your trip and maybe look elsewhere, because I don't like it when we come here and then we have to start.
And I think I just want to add, where Africans who've come here and gone through that journey, that we also need prepared to help those others coming through their journey as well. Or asking before being a network for individuals who want to come to the U.S. Ask about questions that are outside the purview of education. How's life in America? What are you prepared for this? All the documentation. Because what I found is the international office in schools, I say it, they don't know what they're doing sometimes. And so I've come to a point where my journey is like, okay, I can depend on what they know, but then there's other things that we have to know. We have to make sure it's evident, because I've spoken and they don't know. And so you have to do your research in that respect. And so I'm going to give you the last word here. I think we're going to have any time for questions, but next time we'll definitely want your involvement in our discussion through your questions. But with these last maybe
How many people do we have live?
I think we had 3 people coming in and out.
Okay.
So this is our first. We're gonna bring you back. I think we'll record and get it out there.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So just finish up. Give us first a word in French, because we want to make sure we don't respect our the francophone. We always ask, and then I'll close it out. Or you can speak also something in English and we'll close it out.
So what do you want me to give in French?
Oh, yeah, just a word of advice again for business and stuff like that. Yeah.
So this is for the French speakers.
Yeah. And they gotta learn English too. So English is our sometimes too, right?
So this is for the French speakers.
Yeah.
Je pense qu'en tant qu'entrepreneur, il faut avoir toutes les ressources dont on a besoin pour réussir dans son entreprise, pour grandir de son entreprise. Et il faut toujours être connecté avec les gens qui vous ont précédé dans ce que vous êtes en train de faire. Parce qu'il y a toujours de la connaissance et aussi des différents conseils qu'on peut avoir lorsqu'on est connecté avec ceux qui ont été là avant vous, ce qui fait ce que vous êtes en train de faire pendant des années. Donc, restez connecté, essayez un peu d'avoir cet esprit ouvert, d'apprendre des autres, disons, juste avoir un esprit ouvert. Donc, c'est un peu ça, le conseil.
Well, we'll keep this, but I really want to end it on this note. For people who don't know what's happening in the Congo right now, I think over the last 2-3 months, a lot of violence has been happening in eastern Congo. And so just to keep that in mind, I know your family has been affected directly, and maybe uncle and stuff of that nature. And so I just want to also encourage you in that, because sometimes we forget, we still do life back home as we're here, and there's things happening on the continent have a direct impact on us. And so we need to be aware of that and educate individuals. We have to be the educators of that. So alors, je te remercie beaucoup pour être là.
Thank you so
pour
much.
Parler un peu de tes expériences et encourager nos spectateurs. Et on va encore vous inviter une fois de plus.
Merci.
Okay.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our first episode of African Think Tank Talks. We're going to get better. We're going to improve. And just stick with us. We're looking at doing this every Thursday with a new speaker. I'm always looking to do it in person, but we'll use the technology and really engage one another in this. And so thank you very much. And you guys have a good Thursday. Au revoir et à bientôt, mes amis.
Au revoir.
I guess we're done. 1 minute. We got like 60 seconds.
60
we're
seconds.
still here.
Thank you.
How do they do the snap? I teach my students like this. You know how to do that? Le bon vieux temps. Au revoir, les amis.
Au revoir.
Merci. We end stream. I hope it recorded.